Larry Lage, the Associated Press, AP sports writer, is joining us here now. You've covered this team throughout the season. Tom Izzo speaks like a man who has been through a lot. This team has been through a lot. Is this one of his better coaching jobs in recent memory, considering all the ups and downs they've had?
Yeah, absolutely. I think this team is starting to be a sum of its parts, and for so long, whether it was injury or schedule, and let's not forget some key transfers. Like Marble would have really helped this team, and he didn't go into the transfer portal and believed in some players who needed some time to develop. And as usual, they're clicking at the right time for Tom Izzo's 15th Sweet 16 team.
It's remarkable to look at the history, and you walk into that gym and you see the banners. And we talked about that. I asked him, he said, yeah, that's the level of expectation here for our players. When they get again to this stage, it's almost like they're not going to be stopped. When you look at this team, do you feel like they can make a run into the third weekend here?
I think so. I mean, an NCAA tournament in particular is a guard game, and Michigan State has three really good guards that are playing well together in A.J. Hoggard and Tyson Walker and Jaden Akins, and each of them brings something different to the table, and this team really rises and falls with A.J. Hoggard, not to put it all at his sneakers, but when he has good body language and he's feeling good and he's playing well, this team does too, and when he doesn't, then they don't. And Tyson Walker gets to go back home. He's a Queens guy. Actually, Hoggard is not far away in Coatesville, Rip Hamilton's hometown as well. So close to Philly as well. So they'll be really excited. They also got to play there, so they do know the sightlines. Tom Izzo said I wouldn't make much of that, but I think that matters. And also, it's going to be electric in New York, but they've been there, not for an NCAA tournament game. But I think the experience this team has had this season and overall is going to serve them well this weekend.
It is crazy to think all of the one-and-done programs that have been built over the last few years, they're kind of knocked out already. And it's a lot of the programs that have been built with rosters, like Izzo said today to us, they've got guys that have been built here that they stayed with. When you look at the big picture of college basketball, it's almost an affirmation, as he was saying kind of proudly to us, if you stay, this is what can happen. And, is he proud with his chest out a little bit?
Yeah, without a doubt. And I don't know that he loved my first question, because I also asked him about dipping into the transfer portal. They would not be here without Joey Hauser and Tyson Walker. Let's not forget they were from Marquette and Northeastern. So, but with this team, he did what most college coaches don't do. He saw some holes in his roster and said, you know what, we're going to coach up the players that we made a commitment to, the parents that we said, we're going to develop your young son as a player and a student and as a young man. And he's kind of lived up to his word. And, he kind of hinted at that. If they can get through this weekend and kind of sell that, they've got something, but he can also, he leaves himself an out too with the transfer portal as well, because I think when they can add a player, especially that is going to have more eligibility, I don't think Tom Izzo is going to be a huge one-and-done transfer portal guy, but a guy like Tyson Walker and Joey Hauser that can come and play 2 or 3 years, I think those are the kind of transfers that he'll stay open to. And when you only have 1 or 2, you can kind of work them into your team. Now, Kansas State is full of them. Mel Tucker in his breakout season last year, he had a bunch of transfer as well. But, Tom Izzo really has built a program and a culture that, I think is only going to get stronger with the success that he's had this year when everyone's paying attention, right? And, once again, he's done it and setting more records along the way. 25 straight NCAA tournaments. Also 16 wins over a higher or better seeded team, breaking a record that he shared with fellow Hall of Famer Jim Boeheim. It's really remarkable. And, there's a mural in the Hall of History that you can get later, a little B-roll, sound like a TV guy. I mean, it really is remarkable, where it just lists his accomplishments, and you can kind of tell that the slides can be changed. And the one he really wants is that second national championship. Tom Izzo is already in the Hall of Fame. As he said today, I don't need to prove anything to anybody, and I don't really need anyone's support. And that's because he's done so much. But I could tell you it keeps him up at night and makes him work so hard, because he wants 2 national championships, because that puts him in really rarefied air. And it would also be a 9th Final Four if he can win 2 more games this weekend.
It can be done. It can certainly be done. They've proven it. Larry Lage, AP, you even got the branding on there. Looks good.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us, guys. Back to you.